Okay, got my hands all clean. Dirty Harley parts. Okay, let's see what we got here. I was thinking that might have been a kicker. Nope. That's a fender bracket. And some balls. Okay, so this is the rear fender bracket for the oil tank. And someone put a piece of leather between it for keep the paint from chipping, I guess. So this ball, you got the horseshoe oil tank that goes on top. There's a lower plate that goes on the bottom of the battery box that mounts to the frame. And then this bolts that plate, and this bolts the fender. That's why it's curved. The fender goes up like that. And that's how that works. Like so, they got this leather piece in here. Now these Harley ones actually fit. The aftermarket ones, they tend to be longer. So when you go to mount everything, the horseshoe oil tank sticks too far forward on the frame bracket, and the holes don't line up because they're made wrong. So the Harley stuff tends to fits better. So I have seen some aftermarket ones made right, but most of them are made wrong. So I try to use all this genuine Harley stuff. Plus it's made out of better metal anyway. So this one looks pretty nice. It's not damaged. Not really too rusty either, surprisingly. Pretty good shape. Yeah, I've never seen a leather put between the fender before, but okay, well, I can see it. But as usual, if you give it something that's soft, it's going to compress, it's going to get loose, and it's going to vibrate and rattle. And once it's loose, it's into the ball game. But this looks like they tightened up enough it didn't ever get loose. It ain't rotted enough yet. It will eventually. It's a nice part. So this is a big twin, 1936 to 57. Swing arm frames did not use this piece. So there you go. Good part. Let's see what else we got. And this here are some balls. So these are Springer balls. And these are early Springer balls because it matches that backing plate. These guys take good Harley Davidsons and strip them down and sell every piece separate. Fucking losers. I hate it. But that's where we get parts from. So this is the Springer balls. So this is where the spring rod goes through. On the front end there's a bracket that sticks out where the headlight mounts to. If you go look at a Springer, you understand what I'm saying. And this ball goes inside of that, and then the front leg goes through the back leg. The back leg holds this, the front leg goes through here. And as the front end goes up and down with the rockers, the legs go back and forth like this. So this fits relatively tight over the shaft, so the whole ball goes back and forth. So this is your wear area right here. And the springs sit on top of this and holds it all together. So that's how they did it on the early bikes. Now later on, they separated it. So they took the spring mount off of here. They had a separate bracket that they put on. This was just a ball. Still had the center bushing part in here though. The shaft part was in there. And the spring sat on top of the bracket, not on this. So this became floating in there, so it had less binding on it. Because when you got the spring tension on here, it puts bind on it. It doesn't want to move. And that means the spring rod has to move more. It's got more drag on it, so it wears it out. It also makes the front end not more restriction in, which is more drag internal, so it doesn't work as good. So they redesigned it to make it more freer. The disadvantage of that is the bike would pogo real bad in the corner if it worked, and if you didn't have the dampener on it to slow down that, you actually made it handle worse. So the built-in friction is what makes the front ends work good and not have all those ugly shocks and shit on the front. So the early design is actually better for actually working, surprisingly. You'd think freer would be better, but nope. Made it worse because it pogos. So, and the shocks weren't all that good. And I got dirty again, so I touched Harley parts again, I got dirty. Alright, so that's what these were. Alright, I got a rag here. Alright, we'll be right back. Oh, I forgot to say what year this stuff was. These came out in 36. And they quit using them in 44. In 45, they changed to that later design I talked about. So that was post-war. So during the war is the last time they used them like this. And after the war, they learned more engineering and they changed things. But as far as I know, all the war bikes still use the early solid ones. But 45 is when they changed this stuff out. Pretty sure it was 45. It might have been 46, but I'm pretty sure it's 45. So anyway, stuff they learned during the war. They actually did improve the bikes and cars and stuff after that. So there you go. I forgot the years.